So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using my iPad and the app Procreate. Here's a little flower that I painted earlier today. I usually don't scan my pictures in because my scanner is not the very best. So I take a picture of it, I edit the picture, and then I upload it into Procreate. I digitize this flower by getting rid of the background. So I'm going to turn off the background layer here and show you what that looks like. I'll give you some resources at the end that will teach you how to digitize in Procreate. So you can do this with any of your paintings. So after I have digitized it, I just resized it a little to make it easier for me to work with. And I've added a layer underneath the flower layer. So you'll see here that I have a couple of layers underneath. You only really need one for this. So the outline is going to be the edges of the sticker. I suggest making it a little bit bolder and thicker than you think you may need, because when you put it into the Cricut app, it looks just a bit skinnier. So, I mean, it looks nice and big and bold here sometimes, but then when you transfer it over there, it doesn't look quite as bold. So make it big, a nice, decent size. At this point here, I'm just cleaning up the edges, making sure that they conform to the edges of the flower. Next, I'm going to hide the flower layer so that I can come in here and fill in the white outline completely. And the reason that I'm doing this is so that the flower lays against a complete white background. That way there aren't any gaps that the Cricut might accidentally identify as negative space and cut through. So fill in your shape, whatever your shape may be, fill that in completely underneath. And you can use the fill tool instead of coloring it in, but I really like coloring. I don't really use the fill tool too much. And now we are going to work on the backing card that the stickers are laying against. So we're going to open up a third layer underneath the flower layer and the outlining layer. There are several ways that you can completely fill in a new layer. So you can select fill layer, as I've just shown you. You can color it in, or you can just drop in some color with the fill tool. So from there, I go into my actions toolbar and add text. Now you can letter this. You can leave it blank. You can add designs to the back, however you want. I just like to add across the top what sticker pack you're looking at. And at the bottom, I like to add my business name. And here I forgot to change the color from white to black. So make sure that you have your color selected, or double tap on whatever you wrote and pick another color. Also, completely forgot how to spell that. So that's why you see that little pause. All right, then we're going to go into edit style. And I have downloaded a couple of different fonts from DaFont, which I will put in the materials list. And I will be using the Shink. I don't remember what it's called, but I will link it. Font. And that's the font that I use for most of my business documents. The fun ones anyway, not the serious ones. So I added another text layer, and I am writing my business name and scooching that all the way to the bottom. Under the design section, you can adjust a lot of different things. So if you haven't played around with that, it's a really great tool. So I'm going ahead and adjusting everything, putting it where I want. None of this is going to print on your actual sticker. It's just a really cute little background that you can add. You can leave it blank. You can just put your name on it, or you can actually do an entire design on the back. Just remember that if you are printing this at home, you're going to be using a lot of ink. So if you don't want to do that, I would suggest keeping it simple because the stickers themselves are going to take up enough ink. All right, so what I'm going to do now is merge the sticker layer and the outline layer together to make that one layer. And I am also going to merge the text layers with the background layer, so the fill layer. Sorry, not the background layer, the first layer that we worked on. So you're going to end up with two separate layers, one that has the sticker and one that has the backing card. So for this next step, I usually turn on my drawing guide so that I can get even spacing between the stickers. And I also use the grid size at the bottom to see just how big my stickers are going to be. And if you click the box next to it, you can change it from pixels to inches, millimeters, centimeters. I usually go to about a 1-inch box, and that'll give me a rough estimate of just how big my stickers will be at the end of this. I change the color of the drawing guide all the time, depending on what I'm working on and depending on the lighting. So I am selecting my sticker layer because now the sticker and the outline is just one layer. So I'm selecting that and I'm resizing it. I want this sheet to have a couple of stickers on it, a couple of rows of stickers, I should say. You can make small ones, you can make big ones, you can make lots of them. If you're making them for your planner, you can make them pretty tiny. So I'm just making like a regular 1-inch or so sticker. Now I'm going to duplicate the sticker, press my select tool, drag it out from on top of the first layer, and place it next to it. I also like to turn off the background layer, or hide the background layer, sorry, so that I can see the positioning with the white. Since my background is white, you can't see the white outline. So just to make sure that they're not overlapping, you want to make sure that you kind of look at that placement. Once again, I am duplicating the layer, selecting it, and pulling it out, turning off or hiding the backing card layer, and taking a look at it. Once that's done, I merge all 3 stickers and then duplicate that layer and pull it down. And it just makes it easier. You can keep on duplicating one sticker at a time, but I just prefer to do this. It makes it way easier than doing it one at a time. And then continue doing that for as many rows as necessary. Remember to stop every time you place a sticker or a row or a column to make sure that the white edges aren't overlapping. You want to leave enough space in between them as well. And now I'm just going to add a few fun little swirls to the background. And I'm going to use a color that I used in the flower. So I selected that color by pressing and holding on a color. And that color pops up and I can use that color. So just a couple of little swirls on the edges so that it's just not a plain white card. And just make sure that if you do this, that you're doing it on the correct layer. All right, so now we are going to merge all of the flowers together, and you're going to be working on just 2 layers. And now we are going to begin exporting our files. So the first thing we're going to export are the flowers. In order to do this, you want to hide your background layer and go into your toolbar icon, click share. And you want to share your flowers or your sticker, your actual sticker, as a PNG because a PNG will ensure that the background stays transparent. After we export that using our share button, we are going to hide the sticker layer and make the backing card layer visible again. And this layer we will export as a JPEG. Because we don't need it to have a clear background. And with that, we are done with part 1. So we're done with Procreate and the iPad. So I exported both documents to my laptop, and that's what we're looking at now. I am in the Cricut design space. So we're going to start a new project. And at the very bottom of the left-hand side, we're going to upload an image. We're going to be uploading both images that we just worked on. So the first one is our backing card. And we are going to select complex and continue. And you might want to just zoom out because this for some reason always is like super zoomed in. Make sure everything looks okay, and you will get a preview as of your backing card and as well as the cut image. And now we are going to upload the stickers. And you're going to see the same process. Press complex and continue. And here you will see that since we uploaded it as a PNG, the background is already transparent. You don't need to do anything here. You may want to take a quick look at the cut image just to make sure that it's not going to be cutting anything it shouldn't be. And here you can see that it's perfectly done. You might want to name your image if you want and tag it. I don't usually do that, but you can if you have a lot of files uploaded. Press continue. And you have both of your images. So what you're going to do is select both images and they will be placed at the very bottom of your screen. You can also delete anything there if you accidentally selected something you didn't want to, and then press import. And here you're going to see on the right hand side that you're working with two different images. So we're going to select one image. Let's start with the backing card. I like to set my position at 0, 0, the X and the Y at 0, so that it is right there nice and snug in the corner. If you click on the little triangle, it'll tell you that the image is too large and it'll tell you the max dimensions for this image. So input those numbers or one of the numbers into your width and your length on top. And you can play around with it just to make sure that it works for you. I like to rotate this as well. So you rotate it to 270 and it'll lay horizontally. And then what I usually do is set the position back to zeros on both sides if they move. You're going to want to do the same thing to the flower layer. If you see here, the flower layer or your sticker layer, it doesn't necessarily have to be a flower, is laying underneath the backing card. So using the little menu on the left side, I just clicked it and moved it to the top. And then you can resize it so that it fits neatly within your backing card. So in order for Cricut to recognize this as one piece instead of two different pieces, what we're going to do is attach both images. So click on both images and press attach at the bottom. After we've attached it, we are going to duplicate the layer because we can put, depending on the size of your stickers, if you're making a huge 8x10 sticker sheet, then you may not need to duplicate the layer. But if you're working with smaller sticker sheets, you can duplicate the layer and work with more than one sticker sheet on a paper. For mine, they're about a 4x5, 4x6, 4x5. So I am going to duplicate it so that I can have 2 sticker sheets per page. And I am also going to take all 4 layers and attach them so that it is one giant piece. And now we are ready to print and cut our stickers. So click the green button on top, labeled Make It. And here you have your sticker sheet. Take a little note of the positioning because that is the position that you're going to put the sheet in on your Cricut mat. Press continue and send to printer. So when your menu pops up, you're going to select your printer. If you have multiple printers, turn off the bleed. You don't need to have bleed on because you have a border around your sticker. And I like to use my system dialog. I like to turn that on. And there is my system dialog. Make sure that your settings are set to a high quality media print. Your printer settings may look a little bit different than mine does, but I like to set it to the highest quality, which in this case would be photo glossy paper. All right, so once it's finished printing, make sure that your Cricut is actually connected to your device, and you will be able to get this next pop-up once that's done. So I have a custom setting for the sticker paper that I use. So I am going to put a bunch of links in the materials list to all of the papers that I use and my favorites that I have as well. So in order to change the material settings for Cricut, you're going to go into Browse All Materials, go into Material Settings, and scroll all the way down to the very bottom. Sorry for the slow scroll. And click Add New Material. Once you click that, it's going to allow you to input your own materials and your own settings. So here is a close-up of my settings for the PPD sticker paper that we'll be using for this tutorial. So there's a typo, of course, because that's me. So when I first changed the settings on my Cricut was brand new. So my blade was very sharp. So my blade settings are at 205. So my blade pressure is at 205. If your blade is a little bit duller, you may need to increase the pressure, but that's something that you're going to have to play around with. So you click that. I also put it as one of my default favorites so that it can just be right there, and whenever I need it, I click that, press continue. Now I'm going to stick my paper to the mat in the direction that it shows on your screen. Make sure that it's nice and stuck down there. And you are ready to cut. So the Cricut is only going to cut the actual stickers because of the two different layers that we did this in. So it's gonna cut around the backing card, and then it's going to cut each sticker individually. When you're removing your stickers or anything off of your Cricut, it's best to place your mat upside down and put the paper on an actual surface and peel the mat off the paper instead of the other way around so that your paper doesn't curl up. So there are the stickers. Next thing I do is I trim it with my paper trimmer. And I usually work on these stickers I usually work on a number of stickers at a time. So I have a lot of paper trimming to do, but there you go. Once you're done, I go back into my laptop, I finish, and I save it so that I don't have to go through all of this again. So give it a project name and save it. And the next time you want to use this sticker set or print it, it's there. You don't have to do anything except press print. It's all saved for you. So there you go. There are my stickers. I am adding it to my planner. I always do a test cut to make sure that they are the size that I like and to make sure that they look good. And so yeah, so there you have it. there are your pretty little stickers if you wanted to make stickers for your own planner instead of having to purchase them. There you go. Now you can do that. I hope you liked this tutorial. It's a little bit different than my regular watercolor ones, but I really enjoyed making this one. So if you have any suggestions for other types of tutorials that you'd like, aside from watercolor, just let me know.